What's up, guys? For today's video, it's going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to try something new. It's going to be a story time with me, and it's going to be a story about how I almost died in a car crash. So this is how the story started. It was November 12th, 2015, and I was just gotten out of wrestling practice, so I was laying down on my couch, just watching TV, ready to shower and get ready for bed, just tired. For a little more context, I was laying right next to my sister and my mom and one of my sister's friends. We were all just laying down on the couch, like watching TV. And, it was the end of the day, so we were just chilling on the couch. Out of nowhere, my sister decides that she wants to buy some chips for the next day, some hot Cheetos or whatever, for the next day of school. And unluckily, I had a car and I was driving in my senior year. It was my senior year of high school. And I was driving, so my mom was there and I was like, oh, you can take her. I told my mom that you can take her to the store. I'm kind of tired. And she was like, no, I don't want to go. It's too late. You should take her. So I got in an argument with my mom and was like, I don't want to take her. It's too late. I'm too tired. So you know how you argue with your mom. I lost in the end, so I had to take her. I was angry at the moment. I was like, I don't want to take her. I'm too tired. Why do I have to take her? Why didn't she ask me sooner, like early in the day or whatever, Why now? Why now that it's already 10:30 in the night? Me being the good son, I didn't want to get my mom mad or anything. So I was like, okay, let's go. But I was angry. I was like tired. I was cranky, I was like, let's just go. Let's go right now. Let's go. We get out of the car and I start driving to the store, and I'm angry all the way, but the store's not even that far. It's like probably like 10 minutes away from my house, so it's not like it was like a far drive. It's just that I didn't want to go. But we start driving. I'm just in my own head, not even paying attention to my sister or her friend. And we go. We drive. The drive's perfectly fine. There's no traffic. It's just at night. But I'm just mad. I'm just mad that I had to go. So we get to Walmart. And I tell them, hurry up. I don't want to be here any longer than 10 minutes. So they do. They go and buy the chips, and I'm just walking with them towards the chip aisle. They get their chips. Everything's well. We buy them. Then we leave. We just leave because I just wanted to get out of the store. And we leave and we go back to my car. So we already in my car. We're ready to leave Walmart, and I for some reason decided to go on the opposite road to my house. It's just there's a couple of fields on the way back, and it's more open, so you can drive a little bit faster. But you have to drive through this road through the high school. You have to go through the high school. You have to drive through this road that it's curvy. I'll see if I can find a picture of the road to show you. But yeah, it's curvy. It's a little S road, and I mean it's not too bad. It's an easy drive back home, 10 minutes same. And there was no traffic, so I was like, let's go through the back. Let's just go faster. Now I wasn't driving let's go really fast. I wasn't driving really fast, probably like 5-10 miles over the speed limit, which is like right there on the back roads is like 35. So I was driving 40-45 maybe. I was just angry, just trying to get home, go to sleep and shower. So this is when the story takes a flip. We're driving back home, and to get to my house, you have to take a right into my high school. This is where the curvy road is, as you can see, if I find a picture. It's a little curvy road. You can imagine it like a little S road. So we get there, take a right like normally, and I clearly remember hearing to J. Cole because his album had just come, Forest Hill Drives. Yeah, and we take the road, just driving it, listening to music. I was in my own head, just trying to get home. And I don't know where this pickup truck comes and like passes me on the curve, which is illegal because it's double lane, so you can't. It's a double yellow, the road, so you can't pass. So he passes me really fast, and I was like already going a little bit faster. So I was like, what's wrong with him, So I was already mad. He passed me, and I was like, I'll try to catch up to him. For no reason, I wasn't gonna do anything or anything. I was just like, you know how road rage works. And I speed up. I speed up on the curve, and this is when everything flips, literally. So I speed up. This is me. I'm going. I speed up on the curve, as you can see. Got a little car here. So I speed up. It's on a curve. And for some reason, I still don't know to this day, the car loses traction. And I was like, whoa, what's happening? And I lose traction and I hit the brakes, and I guess Well, that you're not supposed to do that, because you'll lock up the brakes and your tires will slide, right? So we start sliding, and to our right side, which I was on the right side of the road, to our right side there's some fields, like lettuce fields, and it's really close to the road, and I start sliding towards them, and I'm like, oh, okay, nothing's bad gonna happen. If anything, I just fall into the field. I just get out, and I have a dirty car, but we're good. Nothing's gonna happen. But so the fields are here, right? And right on them, there's a little bank to, I guess, protect them from cars or anything. And we're sliding, and we hit the bank. We hit the bank, and we're going probably like, I don't know. Actually, this is the thing I don't remember. We hit the bank, and we flip. We flip over. We do one full roll, and we land on our wheels. So we're good, right? But we were going so slow that I was like, at the moment I didn't know what happened. So we flip, we land, and there's a bunch of mud everywhere, but I didn't notice at the time. And I look around to my sister and her friend, and I'm like, "Are you guys okay?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah, we're okay, we're fine." And I was looking at them, and they weren't in any pain or anything. So I was like, "Okay, we're good, right?" But in my mind, I still didn't like think we flipped, because it happened so fast. And the car was still working. For some reason, the car was still good. Nothing like, okay, things did happen to it, but it was still drivable. So we're in the field, it's full of mud, and I can get out. I drove off the field and then back into the road, and I was like, oh, the car's still working. We're good. Nothing happened. And then I'm like, I'm gonna go to my friend's house, which is really close by. And I was like, I'll just go there and clean the windshield, from the mud. Then I started driving, and it starts hitting me what had happened. So I was like, wait, I can't even see out the windshield, and there's so much mud. And I realized the windshield's all cracked, and the car was barely driving. So I was like, okay, I should stop and see what's happening. So I get out of the car and look at the car. I'll show you some pictures right here of the car I have. So yeah, I get out of the car, and it's fully like crumbled like everywhere. My side windows are broken. My back windshield's broken. My windshield's actually broken, full of mud. So I couldn't even see out of it. I don't know how I got out of the field. Luckily we did, and we didn't end up flipped like upside down. So we drove off the field good. But then I see my car. It's all crumbled up, and I'm like, it's hitting me. I'm like, oh damn! I just flipped my car. And I take a good look at it, and I'm like, oh, I just messed up. And I was looking for my phone to call my friend or call my mom or anyone. I didn't want to call the police because we were good. We didn't need the ambulance or anything, so there was no need to involve them. So I looked for my phone, and it's not there. If I don't know, I flew out of the car or it's in the car. I didn't know at the moment, so I was like, what am I gonna do? And this random pickup truck, it wasn't the same one that passed me because I could remember it. So the one that passed me was black and was lifted. I remember that. That's the only thing I remember. And the truck that came to us was a blue pickup truck. He's like, oh, I just saw everything. I just saw you guys flip. Like, are you guys okay? And I'm like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. I don't know what to do. And they asked me like, oh, do you want us to call the cops or anything? I'm like, no, can you guys take us home? And they're like, yeah, we'll take you home. No worries. And yeah, we got on their truck, and they took us home. We arrived, and they got out of the truck, and they talked to my mom and said that we flipped, right? They just tell her what happened and what they saw. So my mom like gets angry at me for what happened. Of course, she was glad we were okay and nothing actually happened to us, but she was mad. Like, what were you doing? Were you driving crazy and everything? And I was like, oh, I don't even know what happened, because at the moment, and I still really can't remember exactly how it happened, but yeah, I like told her what happened and that we're okay, and she's like glad. And my dad wasn't home; he was out of state working somewhere else. So she calls him. He's like, oh, "Okay, we're glad you guys are okay," and he's worried. But then at the end of the day, we're okay. So the car didn't really matter. That's replaceable. We're home, and I'm just like realizing and taking it in, and like, oh damn, I just crashed the car with my sister and her friend. It could have been so much worse. I'm just thinking to myself like, thank God nothing happened. Like, we're good, right? And my sister's friend, no, So my mom calls my sister's friend's mom, and she gets all worried on what had happened. So she drives to our house, and she calls the ambulance, and she calls the cops on us, and she's like telling them that I was trying to kill her or anything, but I wasn't. It was an accident. But I understood because it was her only daughter. She had other boys, but that was her only daughter. So I understand why she was angry. And yeah, the ambulance comes and they checking on her. We're like, nah, we're okay. My eye, like I guess the adrenaline had just started like going down, so my eye hurt. It was my right eye. So it started hurting and I was like, I can barely see out of this eye. And well, the ambulance was there and I told them and they were like, oh, let's just wash it off. So they washed it off with water. They're like, oh, just irritated, you should be good. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll take your word for it. But yeah, they check in on her and like she had a sprained thumb, so like they put a little thing on her thumb and like sent her on her way. But she was good. She didn't have anything. And then the cops come up to me. They're like, oh, were you the driver? And I'm like, yeah, I was driving the car. And they were like, oh, what happened? And I told them, I don't know. Like I didn't want to get in trouble with them. And why would I tell myself like, oh, I was speeding all the way? So I told them, nah, I don't know. I was just driving the maybe like 5 over or right on the speed limit, and I just lost control of the car and we flipped. And they were like, okay, is that everything that happened? And I'm like, yeah, that's everything that happened. And they're like, okay, cool. And they left. They said, we'll come another day and to ask you more on it. But they never came because I guess they didn't really care. So they left and I'm like, okay, good. I'm not in trouble with them, so that's good, right? And then we're like, okay, we have to get the car back. We just can't leave it. We can't leave it there because then they're going to tow it and there's another charge. So I was like, oh, how are we going to bring it? We don't have our truck to bring it because my dad has it. So how are we going to tow the car back? So I messaged one of my friends that I knew had a pickup truck. And I was like, oh, I just told him like, oh, I just crashed my car. I just need to tow it back. And they're like, okay, no problem. So they live close to the area of the scene of the accident. So we get there and they see the car and my other friends get there because my friend tells them and like what happened just to let them know, and they come and they're helping me there and we're looking at the car and like, oh, how are we gonna get it out? And we look for my phone because I couldn't find my phone in my car anywhere, and we go look on the scene where I crashed the car. I crashed it into a field. It was a field of lettuce. I remember clearly. It's a field of lettuce. And I was looking for my phone, and luckily I found it. It was just flipped there on the side of the road. Like it was good, no cracks or anything. And I was happy that I found my phone because I didn't have to spend more money like trying to get another phone. So I get my phone and it still works good. And it was a Note 4, and I was missing the little pen on the notes. And I was like, oh, damn, I'm going to have to buy a stylus. But then we get into my car, and it's just there. The stylus is just sitting, like, in the cup holders. And I'm like, okay, at least I have my phone. At least that's working good. I get my phone, and we're like, oh, are we going to have to pull this car? And that was, like, our last resort. But I was like, oh, the car drives. It's just that one wheel is messed up. It was like, it popped. One wheel popped, and it was just all crumbled up into the wheel. It just crumbled up. So we're like, oh, we should just drive it because we don't want to tow it because it's just more work than we had to. So we break the windshield out with our legs. We push it out. And they drive. My friend drives my car back home. We get there. And we put it out my driveway. And we left the car there. We get our car back. Everything's going down. Everyone's good. I'm happy nothing happened to anyone. But I did just lose my car, and it was my senior year of high school, so I had no car for the rest of the year, which sucked because it was my senior year, and I had early out, and just your senior year, you just want a car to do whatever you want. But yeah, I was just glad that no one hurt or anything. The car didn't matter. The car was really cheap, also, so my parents didn't care. Well, they did. They were like, "Oh, you just messed up the car. Now you don't have a car." But they were like, "It's okay. It wasn't that big of a deal." The next day, it's still school day. I don't remember exactly what day it was. It's probably like a Wednesday or a Thursday that happened. I think it was like a Wednesday. I had to go to school. My mom was like, do you want to go to school? And I was like, no, I don't want to go to school. And she was like, oh, let's see if you have any bruises in your face or anything broken in your face. Because I I didn't know at the moment, but I did hit the steering wheel with my face. So we go to the doctor. She checks on me. She like touches my bones and she's like, "Oh, is anything broken?" And I'm like, "No, I just had a big bruise like right here of the steering wheel. Had a mark and my eye was like, I could barely see out of it." So she was like, "Oh, you can go to like a specialist on eyes." And I was like, "There's a name, I just don't know it off the top of my head." Yeah, we go see my eye. He sees it. He looks at it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you have a really bad infection." And he just cleans it with some eye drops and looks at my eye that it's not scratched or anything. And thankfully it wasn't, no scratches, just an infection on my eye. Because when we landed on the field, for some reason I was holding onto the steering wheel like this, like this. So I didn't close my eyes. My sister and her friend did, but I didn't close my eyes, and I got mud everywhere. And it was like from field, so it had manure and it had whatever they use on fields right there. So basically, I had a really bad case of pink eye. So he just gave me some drops, and the process probably took like a week or two, just putting drops every night and every morning, and it cleaned my eye up, and I was good. That was the only thing that happened, and I was glad it happened to me, not to my sister or to her friends, because then that's just more, it would suck. At this point, it was like 2 days already since it happened, and I was glad that we were okay. I was just worried that they were gonna charge us for the field that just damaged, because it was a lettuce field. So we were like, oh, they're gonna charge us for every lettuce we damaged or anything. Because if you steal a lettuce over there where I'm from, it's like $500 to the cops cash you. So we were like, oh, we'll see if they charge us or anything. And luckily, we didn't get charged. So that was good. I just lost my car. To wrap things up, I just lost my car. No one got hurt. And I was okay with losing my car in exchange for no one getting hurt. So I was like, that's okay. It's cool with me. And also, moral of the story is, don't go to the store mad to buy chips at night. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and leave a comment and tell me if you've ever been in an accident or car accident that was really bad. And if you like this videos, like it so I know and I can do more. Cause I have some stories I can tell you, and I promise you I'll get better at telling them. So thank you for watching today's video, and I'll catch you on the next one.